I'm Eric.
I'm Kyle.
We're from NHPA. I am the founder, and he is one of my investigators. And we're going to start our own little highlights reel talk show for NHPA. We're going to discuss things we've done in the past and what we do now. We're even going to show you how to use some of the equipment and what the equipment is able to do. So if it's something you're interested in the future when you want to start your own business or your own paranormal group, you can at least go and look these things up and see how things are worked out. We're also going to talk about some of our experiences and stuff like that, and Kyle here will be talking about a few things as well. So we'll show you examples, things like that, as the 30-minute show goes on. So each week we'll show you something different, and we'll go over certain things, and from there on maybe even to go out to places and show you where we've gone and how we've done it and what the place is all about and its history. So is there anything you'd like to talk about today, Kyle?
Well, I'd like to talk first about how I got into the paranormal. Started back when I was 16 in high school. I was taking a Myths and Legends class, and me and my buddy, we weren't doing too well. So our teacher gave us one last chance to pass the class. She said, "This is the final project. You have to pick either a myth or a legend." So I chose more on like the legend side about ghosts and stuff like that. So I figured, hey, why not? We'll try ghost hunting. And I went out and bought a DVR, digital voice recorder, and just like some thermometers and stuff like that. And first we just kind of went to some cemeteries, fooled around a little bit. And the first place I went to was my grandmother's cemetery, her grave, down over at Pine Grove Cemetery. And I was actually by myself when I did this. And I was just asking questions, trying to like be kind of personal about it. And I wanted to know if there was anything my grandmother had wanted to tell me before she passed on. And on my recording I got a voice at the end saying "be good," and it was a female's voice, and you can hear it pretty clear that it says "be good." So I mean, that took me back a little bit. I was kind of in shock, I would say, I guess. I showed a lot of my family members and they were shocked too. And then some people I couldn't really hear it, but I heard it and everyone else heard it. And you have to think about these things. You asked a question, sounds like an answer. I'm talking to a woman who was my grandmother. It's a lady's voice, and it sounds like an answer to the question I'm asking. And it's something a grandmother would always say: be good, be nice to your parents, like behave. So.
Now you started out in my team November of 2014.
Yeah.
Since you've been on my team, you did other stuff in the past. Now that you've been on my team for almost a year now, what are some of the things you've learned since you've been working with me since you started back in November of last year?
I learned more how to, work together as a team instead of just going out places and goofing off, actually being professional about it, and being able to actually go into these places that we've been going to is quite amazing,
Now, we got a big team.
Yeah.
We have like 12, 13 people on our team. We have a tech crew, and we have a real good tech crew. Charles Cairns, our tech manager, and same with his wife. His wife works along with him, and we've got a couple other people that work with us. Now, we go out and do a lot of stuff. Not all our members can make it to everything sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, we've been to a lot of interesting places this year. We've done a lot, especially we've been to the Haunted Victorian Mansion. We've been to a few places in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Now we've got some more coming up. Kyle is one of my best investigators that I have on my team, besides a couple other ones. And as we go, what made me start the paranormal is my dad died back in early 2000s, and I used to do this stuff back in the early 2000s before my dad died. But what really got me into it is after my dad died, I ended up seeing him. It's kind of hard to describe to a lot of people who are skeptics and people who don't believe this stuff. But to actually see something is to believe it, and that's a proven fact. Like you got people who believe in flying saucers and aliens, and we believe in hunting ghosts. So there are different categories and different things on how people want to put you at a certain level. They say you're crazy. Well, you know what? So we're crazy. But everyone's got their beliefs. So I started my team last year, but before that I worked with other people. Eric Knapp from Hunting the Haunted. he gave me the idea to start my own team. So I went ahead and started my own team. Eric Knapp, who also has his own team, also works with us, and I work with him too. So there's going to be a lot going on. You're going to see us doing a lot of new things this year. This is one of the new things we're starting, this little video talk show type of thing for NHPA. We want to try and push ourselves more out there. We're out there already with our page, and we're out there with our videos. We've got a lot of fans. We already did one season. As we continue to go on through the rest of the year to try and start this, hopefully this works out good for us. If it don't work out good for us, then we'll stop it. So we're going to show you a lot of things we've done. Me and Kyle, the ones that are going to be taking care of this. From time to time, we'll invite people on. We'll have talk shows. We'll talk with those certain people. Probably going to have Chuck come on a little bit later, so he can talk to us and tell us why he was always interested in this and how he likes working with the team. He's our tech manager. He's the one that's going to be running the cameras for us when we do this. So, so as we continue to do things, we're going to do what we need to do. So, one of the other things that we're going to do is talk about equipment. And we're also going to make a page for specifically for this. And you'll be able to leave comments. You'll be able to ask questions, have us ask things about our show, and me and Kyle will go over those things, and we'll even bring up the people if you got good suggestions. We'll even talk about that person. We'll even say that name's over the show, so that way they know we're answering their questions. We won't be able to answer everything everybody asks us to do, and we're not trying to be rude or criticize anybody, but don't leave anything stupid. Be honest about what you want us to talk about. Be truthful about it. Because we're not just going to answer anything. We don't want anybody saying, hey, is somebody's boobs bigger, or do you talk about these guys, or we're not here to down anybody. We're not here to be sexist. We're here to actually talk about paranormal things. Is there anything you want to relate to while I'm talking on those topics?
Oh yeah, me and my friend, we passed the class and we graduated, went on to college and all that, so project was good.
Project was good. All right, yeah, I didn't mean to get off topic.
No, that's fine.
But those are things we are going to do. We're going to bring up a lot of suggestions, a lot of things, and we want people to enjoy what we're talking about. There's going to be time we're going to have fun. You know, there's going to be outtakes. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. We're even going to show video clips of what we do when we're out in the paranormal. We're working with people and our teams and other people. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We even leave, you know, when our next investigations are coming up, we'll even leave, look, this is when we're going out, look forward to this, or look forward to season 2, which we are working on. We will no longer be on Paranormal Warehouse. I was able to work things out with a certain place, and once we got everything set up and ready to go, we're going to be airing ourselves on them as well. So I'm trying to get away. But if you're looking to air your show on a network, by all means, paranormalwarehouse.com. Sign up, it's free. You can air your show on there and people can watch it. They do blogs, they do all types of things. You can even buy equipment from them. They're real good people. So I try to, you know, say good things about everybody, but a lot of times you're going to get knocked down. But you know what? Stand on your 2 feet. So as we continue the show, we're going to show you some equipment today and describe what it uses and what it's for. So stay tuned. So as you can see, we got some equipment here on our table. We got ourselves a thermal temperature reading gun. Basically, it's laser guarded. It's infrared laser, and you just point it at the wall and it'll tell you the temperature. It's a standard temperature reading gun. We even got some K2s here. K2 is basically what electricians use to find wiring in the wall, but as paranormal field people, like investigators like us, we use this stuff to communicate with the paranormal world. There are different types, like you got the ghost meter, which is basically the same as the K2, only it reads different than the K2. And we also have the spirit box. Did you want to discuss that?
Sure. This is the PSB7 spirit box. Probably seen people use it a lot on TV shows. What it does is it scans through radio frequencies at how many milliseconds?
You can go anywhere from 100 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds.
So that's really fast.
You play it in reverse or forward.
Yeah, in reverse, forward, and what it does is it scans through these radio stations really fast. So yeah, here, like sometimes you'll get a voice from the radio, and we can tell, we've used this so many times. we know the difference from when it's a radio and when it's actually something from, you can't explain where it's coming from. And we have had some voices call us some not so nice things.
Yes,
and
yes. I've had some real things come through that it's not a radio station. Normally when I'm using this, I scan it in reverse. Because when you're scanning in reverse, the radio stations are talking backwards. And you can know when it's the radio stations. And then when something comes clear on a reverse speed, you know that's paranormal or something trying to reach out to you. But I'll let Kyle continue to explain more about it.
So I'll just show an example of what it does. So what it's doing is it's scanning right now. You might hear a little clips coming through. What it does.
And from time to time you hear a voice on there. We use that a lot when we're on our investigations. It's something we enjoy using because eventually people who haven't seen this video yet that we're recording for our NHPA TV show, I get a lot of comments because they look forward to seeing the episode because they either want to see me and the person I'm working with because we're either trying to talk about something and we're messing it up, or they're looking for the expressions on my face or the other teammates' expressions. 9 times out of 10, I'm getting emails saying, "Great show. We loved your expressions, Eric. You're hilarious. You and this guy work well together," or "You and this person work well together." So these are things to look forward to as we continue through this show, which we got more equipment on here. We got the handheld. These are good to have. They're night vision. They're the Bell & Howell infrared night vision cameras. They work really well in the dark. The IR lightings, they're okay. But to boost up the more clarity, you want to get bigger IR lightings. Like we have this. These are IR lightings. These are the Ghost Light 3s. I get them personally from Colorado Power Tech. I think their lighting is very good. So these are something I use. Very interesting. Take 2 9-volt batteries in the back and they'll mount right up to your camera and they enhance the night vision infrared lighting. So you want to be careful with some of the cameras you buy too. The good ones are like Sony. The Bell & Howells, they're like mid-grade. They're okay. I use them. But I also have like a Sony cam that we're using right now, which is, it records in 4K. It's got really good night vision settings. These are sometimes can be difficult to use. Problem with these, the one thing I hate about these is they go in and out of focus a lot. So I mean, really research on your cameras when you want to buy them. I mean, but if you're first starting out, these come in a pack. You can get everything: extra battery. You even get your little tripods that come with them. You can get your extra batteries. So, but really research on what you want to use for paranormal equipment, because there's a lot of scams out there, and when you get the equipment, it's not as good as they say it is, and you can pay a lot of money for your equipment and not realize that it's crappy. So really do a lot of research on what you buy. I've learned from my mistakes, but the Bell & Howells are good. Sony Handycams that come with night vision are really good. And there are certain things that you can find on the internet. Be careful where you buy your equipment from, because some of it could be this. You can buy the same camera and get it somewhere else for half the cost. I had one of my tech crews show me that. The cameras I enjoy using, the Bell & Howells, I enjoy them. I was paying $300 and something for the cameras when he showed me where I could get them for half that price. So I started ordering it through those areas. So keep in mind when you're getting equipment, look at what you buy. We also have what you call a laser pin. Basically, we use these to put down in the dark, and supposedly if something walks by, it can cast a shadow. Is it 100%? Not really, but it's stuff we use. Forge grips, hold the cameras. These are really good for steady arms. You can get these on eBay, or you can get them on Amazon for like anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks. I enhanced it a little bit to give it that little more stability to hold my lighting and all my other equipment. Um, Most important thing is when you're investigating in the dark, always make sure you have a flashlight. They come in handy, or else you can fall flat on your face. It's happened to me. I guarantee it's probably happened to Kyle a couple times, not knowing where we're going, walking into things. So these are your basic, you know, paranormal things you would want to use on an investigation. If you're first starting out, yeah, they sell those cases where you can get everything all at once. Again, be careful what you buy. Really look into it. Study what you're going to do. And before you go out into the paranormal world, you know, make sure wherever you're going, you look up the history of the place and things like that. Because you never know what you're going to come across.
Can I add something? Another thing a lot of people ask me is, you know, they ask me where's a good place to go, what kind of places can we go to, what are good cemeteries, and I always tell people, you know, be careful, first of all, because if you go anywhere late at night, you can get in trouble for trespassing. I know from experience, I've been kicked out of places, and cops, they will arrest you, so make sure you get permission anywhere you go.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I do with my team. I make sure my team is well aware of our surroundings, where we're going to be. Normally we won't say where we're going to be, but we'll probably let you know when our season 2 is going to start. We did already start airing season 2, but we ran into some complications. Those complications are being taken care of. Nothing bad about anything where we were airing our show. It's all good. Just we're doing new things. We're getting out there more, so people now are working with us and people are now helping us to get where we need to go. And I want to thank those people. I'm not going to mention the names because I don't have permission to mention their names, but there's a lot of people out there helping us right now, and we're going to continue to do what we do best, and that's do this, show you guys what we can do, and hopefully you enjoy our NHPA talk show. We'll even have special guests from time to time, so we hope you look forward to watching this and maybe get some ideas, or maybe you can even share us the ideas. Kyle is going to pretty much, you know, help me out with this stuff. I'm going to help him out with it too. But I'm going to bring somebody in and have him talk with me for a couple minutes, and he's going to tell you why he wanted to do what he's doing in the paranormal world. So I'm going to have Chuck come on. He's one of our special guests today. He's my tech manager. And me and him are going to talk about a couple things for a few minutes, and he's going to tell you why he was so interested in doing the paranormal world. So Chuck, thanks for being on the show today. You're our first special guest. Why don't you explain to me why you wanted to be in the paranormal world?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I've always wanted to be in the paranormal. I'm watching all the TV shows, going out to cemeteries with friends on Halloween, looking up online, trying to see where it is. I've always been fascinated by it. Plus, I've had a few experiences myself. Places where we've been staying, like in an apartment, whatever. So that's pretty much. And then I just bumped into you and had the opportunity to work for this wonderful team.
All right. So what are some of the things you have gained, and what are some of the things that you've learned since you've been a part of my NHPA team? You know, tell the people out there, what are some of the things that really made you want to do this even more since you've been part of my team?
Well, first off, I get to work with a bunch of wonderful people. I also get to see a lot with this team. I came on about 2 months ago. We've gone to some wonderful places, and we've met a lot of wonderful people. I've got a wonderful tech crew. Just everything about it. I'm watching how this company is growing. You know, it's just going to get better and better.
Now, in your time of doing things and wanting to do, have you ever came across any other paranormal teams you tried to work with? Have you ever seen anything else out there? So this is your first on-hands experience working with a team. Now we're going to be going to a couple places this month coming up. I'm even throwing a paranormal party on the 11th. We got a real good place coming up the 18th and the 9th. 2 actually places coming up. One's going to be with another team we're working with, and we're going to be doing something in Concord coming up soon. And that's supposed to be a real good place. And I know you've been to some of the places we've been to already. and you've had some things really knock your toes into the water.
Yeah.
So describe some of those experiences you had when we went out there. I mean, how did it make you feel when you're in pitch dark and you're holding one of my cameras and you're filming my crew? What are the experience holding that camera and seeing the experiences and the thrills we see?
I'll tell you, I had an experience a couple months ago, like you said, pitch black, sitting up in an attic. So also, you know, downstairs as well in a basement. You know, you just get that feeling like something's behind you or something, you know, and the chills going up. And then obviously I was at one of our stops and, you know, I got scratched.
Yeah.
It definitely can be very scary and very...
Now, you went somewhere with me in Winchton, Massachusetts.
Yes.
It was one of the investigations we went on. You were downstairs filming two of my investigators.
Yes.
And while you were filming them, something behind you whispered, and you jumped about 10 feet tall.
Yes.
And you guys were saying you were smelling this awful, awful, like, dead food, rotten food smell. Now, how did that make you feel when you were down there in that basement and you were feeling all this anxiety coming up at you, like, what the hell is going on?
I was scared.
You were scared.
I was scared when, you know, we were down there filming, like you said, and I heard something in the back of my say leave. And it made me jump. Now, as a camera guy, we're not allowed to talk, you know, but, I mean, that, with everything that had happened after step, I had no choice. I mean, I was scared. The smell in the background, I was with two other investigators, they were saying the same thing. I mean, we didn't know what to think, and that's one of probably the scariest that I've seen. And then as we were trying to leave the basement, the smell was following us.
Yeah.
And you knew you did not want to be there.
Now, in April, on the 18th of this year, we went to the Haunted Victorian Mansion. Now, you were sick for that one.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it because you were having issues with your whatever you were having problems with. I had a camera tech, during filming. It's going to be hard for people to realize this and stuff like that, but when you're out there and you're behind these cameras, even though you're not the investigator, you guys are what make us go on TV. You
Right.
guys are what make us make our show. Without you, we wouldn't be nothing.
Right.
We'd have to hold our own cameras, and that's kind of hard when you're trying to film yourself.
Right.
We need someone to follow us around. We just can't keep taking our camera on a stand, putting it here, pausing it. We want someone to follow us. And this is what you guys do. A lot of people don't seem to understand it. Cameramen have a lot of work ahead of them. They have to listen, they got to set things up, they got to do things. Well, one of my cameramen, John, he's one of our tech, he works on you and your tech team. When we were at the Haunted Victorian Mansion, he got pushed over the railing. There was nothing there to him to get caught on or for him to trip, because our cameras don't have wires. Everything is battery operated when we're out there. So he went over the railing. My other cameraman was facing with him when it happened. But you can see where he was walking. When he was walking, you see him slowly get shoved over the railing.
Yeah.
Can we actually prove 100% he got pushed? No, I don't have real hard evidence that it happened.
Right.
But the way, where and how it happened, it's, controversial. I'm going to air it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show people this is what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, am I going to get hit hard? Am I going to get hit hard for that? Yes, I'm going to get hit hard for it. But people don't seem to realize it. Yeah, me and my team, me and Kyle, we go out there all the time when we're investigating. Yeah, we got to stand in front of that camera. We got to talk about what we're doing. We're there to find the experience. We're there to help our clients. We're there to put all this out there for you people to watch and see, to actually think, well, is this really going on, or is it not really going on?
And as a camera person, it's hard, because when you guys are investigating, if we see something, we're not allowed to talk. But I mean, I'm telling you, I've been with you on this team for a few months, and I many occasions I've been with you guys, and you see something, or you're right in the middle of it, and we do have a hard job. You're right. I wasn't with you with the Haunted Victorian Mansion, but the other stops that I've been with, like I said, I got a wonderful tech crew. And it's you never know.
Like you went with us to the Belmont House, the J Mac Farm in Belmont,
Yes.
New Hampshire. That's already been aired.
Yes.
People already saw it. Well, not a lot of people got a chance to see it because we were having technical difficulties on the day when we aired it.
Right.
But you were there.
Yeah.
You experienced it.
Yes.
You saw it firsthand, how it was capable of talking to us on the spirit box.
Yes.
The things it was saying. Now, I've been to a lot of places. And this year, the JMac farm is like the best place I've been to so far. I mean, my season isn't over yet. Our investigations aren't done yet. There are plenty more we're going to. We're probably going to experience even better.
I'll tell you, Eric, honestly, as a cameraman, I listened to what some of that stuff was being said on the camera box, spirit box, I mean, and you're right, blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's different if you should say, okay, hey, you know, if you're a skeptic, that's cool. There are skeptics out there. When you see it firsthand, or you see everything that happened, I tell you, it takes that skepticism right out the door. You know, what I experienced that night, what I heard, what happened to me. Yeah, it definitely makes you look at a different light. And you know, like you said, there's going to be more places down the road that we're going to go see, probably better.
Mm-hmm.
That by far, as a tech, out of other, that was one of my favorites because it was very active that night. That towards the end, it didn't want us there. You know,
but you're gonna get those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
As a team leader, as a founder, as a great investigator that I've become over the years. It's a lot to look forward. It's a lot to ingest, a lot to take in.
Yep.
So I'm glad to have you on my team. And as me and you've been talking, I'm going to slowly work you up as an investigator. But you're going to be my tech manager at the same time. So you're going to be running and investigating at the same time. You'll be running cameras. And we've already been doing that to you. We went out to a couple places over the last few weeks where we've put you on the spot.
Yes.
And you've experienced it all by yourself. We've been letting you sit in those areas.
Yes.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Kyle come on, and I'm going to have you talk with Kyle for a few minutes.
Okay.
So he can ask you, if he wants to ask you any questions that you think he needs to answer to you. So,
Sure.
thank you for coming on. It
No,
was
thank
a
you for
pleasure
having
having
me.
you on our show.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to have Kyle come on in and talk to you and go over a few things, or maybe some things he would like to ask you.
Okay.
You said you started doing this before on your own.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what were some of the cemeteries you went to, or around here?
Yep. Actually, I went with a couple friends of ours. We ended up looking on the computer one Halloween. What are the haunted cemeteries in New Hampshire? And two that popped up was Blood Cemetery, and Gilson Road Cemetery. Blood Cemetery, due to I guess supposedly it's haunted by a child by the name of Abel Blood. And then Gilson Road Cemetery. Now, personally, I didn't walk into that cemetery. We went and stayed on the outside, but I mean, like Gilson Road Cemetery. Oh my God! As soon as you walked in, it felt like you were walking on quicksand. We snapped some pictures that night. I think what we caught orbs. I mean, I'm not too sure. You didn't have anybody to actually look at it, but Blood Cemetery, same thing. Had that wicked, eerie feeling that somebody was there watching. We didn't go inside the cemetery. We pretty much stayed on the outside. Pine Grove Cemetery, I've been to, which is a wonderful place. That's about it for the cemeteries. So.
Have you ever heard of the Vale End Cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire?
No.
Well, let me tell you about an experience I had there. I went to Vale End Cemetery in Wilton, New Hampshire with a couple of my friends, an ex-girlfriend of mine, and 3 other people. And we all saw the same exact thing. We were walking around towards the end of the night. We were getting ready to go, and we're just standing by our car. And over to the left of me, over in the woods area, sorta, we see a little glowing light behind the trees. We're looking at that, and we're like, "Someone over there? Is that a cell phone?" And it started to slowly move out towards us, and we just started kind of being a little freaked out at first, and it disappeared. So we were kind of like, all right, we should get out of here. We started walking towards the vehicle, and we started again behind a little bush, and it was kind of like, it almost seemed like it was watching us, and it came around the bush. And once that happened, I mean, we ran to the car. We got in that car and we started driving. And as we were driving out of that place, I just saw her just freaking zooming across the cemetery, just right to the grave, which is Mary Ritter, who is said to be buried with her husband's other wife. He married 2 women named Mary and buried both of them sharing the same headstone.
Wow.
So the legend is that she's forever, you know, pissed off, basically.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was first thing I've ever seen personally, and that kind of really made me believe. That was what made me believe ghosts are real, and that when you die, you know, it's not nothing. There's something.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Oh no, definitely.
hopefully you can have fun still too. You know.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, I haven't personally had the experience of going to that cemetery. There are a couple plot spots that, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, that are outside of New Hampshire. Hopefully, you know, as a team, we have that chance to experience it. One, if you know, if it's okay to say, I would love to go see the Stanley Hotel. You know, I've heard a bunch of stories about that. There's another place, the Lizzie Boarding House.
Yeah.
I've heard. You know, there's just a couple places that I've seen on TV that I would love to go as a team and experience, and hopefully, you know, one day we get that chance. So,
I want to go to the Washoe Club in Virginia City in Nevada.
I've never heard of it.
That's what I'd like to do.
So,
All right, well, Eric's going to be coming in to finish this up. Let's say thank you, Chuck, for coming on our show.
no, thank you for having me. Absolutely.
No
Have a
problem, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we had Chuck on the show tonight. He's one of our first special guests. I think he did very well. We're going to finish things up for the show. Keep in mind, we are going to have special guests from time to time. We'll leave little blogs. Like I said, this is our first one. You know, leave comments. Let us know how we did. If there's something we left out or there's something you think we should add, feel free to let us know. That way we can make what we're going to show you once a week on how to make things better for us to air. You know,
Constructive criticism is the best criticism.
yes. Like I said, we're not going. We know we're going to get beat on for this. We know people are going to leave, you know, those harsh things. But you know what? We don't care. We're not here for the negativity. We know we're going to get it. But that's part of having talk shows. That's part of going over equipment. Yeah, there may have been something we said wrong. Big deal. No one's perfect. But as we continue to do this every week, we're going to bring something to you new. We're going to try, you know, and continue to do it. And the more and more people that we get to watch this, the better it be for us. And we're hoping people look forward to watching this. So in the next couple weeks or so, we're going to arrange a few guests. I got a couple people in mind that I would like to bring in and onto the team and talk about. Like I said, some of these shows are going to be 30 minutes. Some of them are going to be an hour. So depending on what, like special guests are normally an hour. So the normal, we don't have them, it just be normal 30 minutes, banging it out or whatever, or however we're going to do it. We may even make it an hour show, who knows? Depending on what interests you, depending on how you want us to bring things, depending on how you want me and Kyle to show you the things you want to see. And we're even going to do special, you know, like little clips of stuff we've done. Excuse me. So from time to time, we'll show you what we need to, what you want to see. Is there anything you'd like to add before we close this up?
I think that's about it.
All right. So stay tuned for next week, where we're probably going to talk about one of our shows. We haven't decided which one we're going to pick yet, but we're going to bring to you probably one of our best shows, one of our best investigations, and we'll talk about it within that hour or 30 minutes, however we're going to make it. So thank you for watching NHPA Talk Show, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye.